Hello. Thanks for having me. My name is Holger Klein. I'm from the Decred project. I'm involved in the Decred project almost for 3 years, since the beginning of the blockchain. And I want to talk to you about the fundamentals, how to ensure that a decentralized blockchain project can survive longevity and be around for the next 5, 10, 20 years. And let's just jump right in. So, Czech, Poland, I think you say Jak się masz, Warsaw. I'm happy to be here to celebrate with you the 10th anniversary of Bitcoin. And I'm really impressed what's going on here in Poland with the cryptocurrency, and also about the culture. I'm really amazed what's going on here, because I realized Poland is a very unique country with the culture. Because when I walk around the streets, I see very often those cantor exchanges that you have almost on every corner of the street, right? So Polish people are really able to diversify. They are very aware that there's different currencies, that there are precious metals, and that's a very unique thing. You don't see it in a lot of countries, that people are just able to buy gold around the corner, right? That's a very unique thing, and I really enjoyed, and I realized that you people in Poland actually participating in a geo-arbitrage, which means your people go into different countries to work there and to get payment in different currencies, and come back to Poland and exchange or diversify their investments. That's a very interesting thing for me, and that's not only that the people are doing it. I got the statistics of the reserve of gold in Poland, and you can see that actually also your government is heavily investing and diversifying their currency, and they were buying 30% of their gold stocks just in the year 2018, which is impressive. I just wanted to make a side note, because I think it's very important that you are open for new technologies and for investment opportunities. So, let's jump right into why people are actually try to diversify, try to invest in different currencies. So the decision in which asset they actually invest their wealth into is decided on personal preferences, or they start to analyze the fundamentals and try to place a bet on the future. On future events, and mainly it's because the uncertainty, right? Nobody knows what the future will bring, and everybody's trying to make their best bet on what will happen during the next future. And now the people have the chance to invest in cryptocurrencies. And sorry, 1 second. Yeah. And it's a very unique thing to invest into cryptocurrencies. And if you want to minimize your risks that you have, you start to analyze your investment. So I want to give you a brief about the fundamentals of Decred and why we think we have a basic fundamental layer that ensures us that we can be around in the future with our cryptocurrency technology. So, we have an incentive model, so we wanted to, the motivation behind every participant in the cryptocurrency should be well balanced, which means it doesn't matter if you are a miner, if you are simple investing into the cryptocurrency, if you are a developer. Every participant in the network has a different interest. And these interests need to be balanced, because we know that cryptocurrencies want to be decentralized, which means there should be not a single entity having the power or the most influence in the network. So when you think about fundamentals, you start to analyzing a cryptocurrency. You think about if you should invest into it, and you start to doing your own research, and you start to the most part you start to check out what is the background of the developers, of the team, of the founding team of the cryptocurrency. So, when we come to Decred, the developers of Decred have a long history when it comes to blockchain development. The developers have released the BTC suite, which is a full node implementation of Bitcoin in 2013. They have developed around 6 months for the initial release of a full node implementation, which means it's a different implementation of the Bitcoin protocol in a different programming language. It was realized in Golang, and since 2013 it's still supported. They gave away the BTC suite, and it's still renowned, and it's up to date, keeping up to date. While the team of Decred were working on the BTC suite, they realized there are some pitfalls in Bitcoin which they wanted to improve, and they found their limits in ability to have innovation influence on Bitcoin, and they decided to iterate on Bitcoin and develop it a little bit further. So they started to develop Decred for 2 years in private. It was a private funded development for 2 years, and then they just launched the mainnet after 2 years. So the team is not only about the Decred founders, it's a very inviting ecosystem actually for developers or for participants. People are very welcomed at Decred to start developing and start helping inventing the network in the future. So currently we have around 60 contributors, which are from all over the world. We are really decentralized when it comes to the development. They organize themselves in chat communities on GitHub, and if people show up and start working on Decred, they get at some point invited to become a contributor, which means they get paid on an hourly basis to develop on Decred. But the next step you do when you do the fundamental analysis of a cryptocurrency is you start to, after you check the team and the background of the team, you start to check how they launch the network, if there is a so-called fair launch. A fair launch means that there is a nice distribution of the coins. So in Decred it worked this way, that there was a pre-mine of 8% of the total coin supply, and 4% of these coins were distributed between people who just signed up. Before the mainnet launch, they had the chance to sign up, create a wallet, and just register for the airdrop. So Decred actually dropped 282 coins, around about 280 coins, to 3,000 pre-registered users, and that was 4% of the total supply, and another 4% was distributed for the 2-year development in private. So the people who worked 2 years in private on Decred were able to purchase coins for fixed price. The next thing you want to make sure when you do your fundamental analysis is you want to make sure that there's a secure network, that there's a secure consensus system. Decred has developed a hybrid proof-of-work, proof-of-stake system. So they took the best parts of Bitcoin, which is the proof-of-work system, the distribution of the network power and the race to find new blocks. And they added another layer on top of the proof-of-work system, which was the proof-of-stake system, which is actually keeping the miners in balance, which acts some kind of a two-factor authentication on proof of work. So when you have this hybrid system of proof of work, proof of stake, you actually keep the miners in balance, which means they need to behave on what the stakeholders want. The people who hold the coins actually can override the proof of work miners, which means if the proof of work miner doesn't behave, like they mining empty blocks without putting transactions into it, the proof of stake layer actually verifies the block and can deny a block so it doesn't get attached to the blockchain. The result also out of it is that you have some kind of hard fork resistance, which means you cannot just go ahead and fork off to a second blockchain, because you always need to validate your blocks from the proof of stake, and if they don't agree on your blocks, then you are not able to attach new blocks to a second blockchain that you want to create. Another important thing when you think about proof of stake is it's very problematic when you have a pure proof of stake blockchain, because once you have a lot of coins in a proof of stake system, which is pure proof of stake, then you can be sure that you will have a lot of coins in the future. So once you have your share on the cake in a proof of stake system, you will keep your share of the cake also in the future. But we have a block reward. So every block new coins gets generated, and 60% of these coins go into the proof of work miners who found the block, and 30% goes to the proof of stake miners, which means proof of work always receives the majority of the new block reward, which means even if you have a lot of coins, proof of stake makes sure that the combination of the block reward makes sure that you get diluted by time. No matter how big you are on the launch, your share on the cake will get smaller by time, because the distribution through the proof of work is way higher than what you can earn through proof of stake. Additionally, we have the proof of stake layer, which has a twofold governance system. We have an on-chain and off-chain governance system. As I already mentioned, we are validating the blocks. Each block needs a validation. And additionally to that, we have an off-chain layer, and that's because we need to make decisions together. Who should make the decisions in a decentralized network, right? When you have a group of independent people, who should make the decisions in a decentralized network? And therefore we have this block subsidy, where 10% of each block goes into the development funds. So we have a constant income into the development funds, and we have currently around 600,000 Decred coins, which is currently worth around about $10 million, sitting in the development funds, ready to get spent for the future development of the blockchain. And how we spend these funds is actually decided by the stakeholders, not by a small group of developers. Everybody can participate, put up proposals, and if these proposals should get funded, is decided by the people who actually invested in the coin and staking their coins. So this makes sure that we are future-proof. There's no need for VC capital, outside capital, or ICOs, because we are a self-funding project. We can have constant development payments through the block subsidy. In order to be able to enable everybody who wants to participate in Decred, we need a system for people to actually propose their ideas and put it up for vote. These proposals can be sent by any individual who wants to have a good idea. They can put up their ideas on the proposal system. It's censorship resistant, so when you put up your proposal, nobody is able to censor you. You have a censorship proof token that you can show, and you can prove that you have submitted a proposal. And once the proposal is proper and goes up, it has to go up to the vote. So the developers have no decision power in that moment, because everybody is able to propose an idea, and the people who hold the coins are actually deciding if this idea should get funded out of the development funds. This is our proposal system. It's called Politeia. And there the people can propose their idea, give a roundabout how and what they want to do, can write up some milestones, some deliverables that they have, give a timeline and how much money they need to realize this proposal. And the people start voting if this proposal should get funded. So everybody is invited actually to take part in the future of the cryptocurrency of Decred. So when it comes to the on-chain governance, we know the situation that cryptocurrencies from time to time have to evolve, right? The consensus rules, how a block looks, what features it had, have to change in time. The cryptocurrency cannot stagnate, it has to evolve in time, and therefore we have consensus rule voting, which means when a new feature is implemented into the software, the feature is actually dormant, which means it's not active, right? The feature is in the software, but it's not activated yet. So then the software is ready to download for the network starts downloading the latest daemons, the latest software, updating their nodes, and once the majority of the network is running on the latest software version, automatically the voting starts to activate the new consensus rules. You need 75% of majority that approves the new feature in order to hard fork to the new consensus rules, right? This is very interesting because you are actually not able to deny if the majority decides to fork to the new consensus rules. You are not able to run the classic blockchain, I would call it like that, because nobody will approve. You won't get approval on your old blocks. Once the majority has decided to fork, we activate the new features, and after update integration time, you are not able to mine the old version blocks anymore. That makes the whole chain hard fork resistant. On-chain governance is also a portal where you can see the Decred proposals that go up, and people can really follow on-chain how the voting works, and until in which moment we do the hard fork. Then there's a login time to give people the opportunity to update their exchange software, whatever is depending on Decred. They have an update time, and after a specific time, old blocks gets denied. And you can follow everything on this voting website also. Additionally, we have started, just a couple of days ago, we have started a bug bounty program. So developers are invited to pen test, to try to find bugs, to try to find vulnerabilities in the blockchain easily. We have a bug bounty program, and we pay people when they find bugs in the software based on the official OWASP risk methodology. So if you find a low risk vulnerability, you can earn money for that. We pay people for that from low risk for $300, and the high risk vulnerability goes up until $25,000. So it's a very inviting environment actually for people to participate, propose ideas, and everybody's making the decision if these ideas should get funded, and they can take part in the whole ecosystem. So conclusion of it. We want to be around for the next 5, 10, 15 years. We have a solution to develop the consensus rules. We have a methodology to be around in the future, because if there is a need to change maybe the hash algorithm or something like that because it becomes too weak, or there is a quantum computer incoming or something like that, we are able actually to fork to new consensus rules, and who's involved actually to provide to the network.
Czy jakieś pytania do pana? Dziękujemy. Thank you very much. Dziękujemy wszystkim państwu wobec tego.